Today we're talking about using network sites such as Vocal, Hubpages, and Medium. And first of all, I am definitely not an expert. I've done a little bit on all of them, and I've earned a few cents, literally. But it might be a viable way to make an income as long as you're in certain areas. Like with Hubpages, you have to be in a location that supports PayPal, and Vocal and Medium both use Stripe. So if you don't have access to either one of those, unfortunately, you can't take advantage of those platforms. But there's probably quite a few more out there. I just haven't found them yet. There's also a news one that I was thinking about trying, but I haven't yet. So I don't know how well it works. Anyway, most of my workload has come from Vocal, so that's where a lot of my experiences come from. I think I've only done like 2 posts for Hubpages, which I plan on changing in the near future. But right now I'm in the middle, not quite the middle, of doing a 30 days of writing on Vocal challenge for myself to help get motivated. But there's more of an emphasis on writing posts that an audience wants to read. Now, this is what we were talking about earlier. Like with a blog, it's easy to get an audience. It's easier to get an audience on a blog because everybody uses Google, and if you can create content someone's looking for, people are bound to come across it eventually. But on a focused system, like the writing network sites, like especially like with Vocal and Hubpages, especially with Vocal, because it has like built-in categories that you can write for, and then you have to be able to target the people who use Vocal to look for whatever the hell they're trying to read. So there's no the aspect of getting long-term viewership isn't as strong as it would be on a blog, and it doesn't work the same way as it does for blogging and SEO. So like most of the time I focus on search intent when I'm writing an article. And search intent is when you know how someone is looking for a specific piece of information and trying to tag key phrases that are high volume for that purpose. It's a bit tricky sometimes, but if you can hit it, like with the Buy Me a Coffee review on my website, it still brings in more than a quarter of the traffic to my blog goes to that one article. So, and it's #1 in Google, by the way. And so that was hitting the perfect stride for search intent. With Vocal or Hubpages or Medium even, it's a whole, I wouldn't say a completely different experience, but it's far more difficult because you're trying to target a specific audience. And it's more about the person telling the tale rather than the topic. People will follow creators just because they like the style they write in, or because they provide a decent stream of a certain niche or a certain set of topics. So it's more focused on the individual than it is the blog. Kind of like how YouTube works. A lot of writers center more on sharing fictional tales, especially on Vocal. In fact, there's a section specifically on Vocal for fiction tales. Which is one of the reasons why Vocal calls them stories, and the traffic you get, instead of a view, it's called a read. That's because they're more focused on the individual telling a story about the specific the topic. Like one of the articles I wrote back in April was about how I, at 44, still play Minecraft, and how I use it to unwind, relax, and spend time with my kids. My daughters are both hardcore Minecraft fans, and so I find it incredibly relaxing. And so I wrote the whole article from the perspective of a 40-plus-year-old man who uses it to relax and spend time with the kids. And that article, not only was it my 10th article I wrote, so I got a $10 bonus from Vocal, but also they shared it on their Twitter feed, which earned me another $5. And then they also featured it as or they said it as a featured post, which was another $5. So if you can write something that really engages with them, you can make quite a bit, a good chunk of money just off of one piece of content. But it does remind me a lot of the differences between YouTube videos and blog posts. Specifically, like there'll be blog posts that I have on WriterSanctuary that doesn't perform for shit on YouTube, the same content. In fact, the Buy Me a Coffee article, the blog equivalent or the video equivalent that I have on YouTube is like 7th on my top 10, and the amount of views it gets every 28 days is what the blog gets every day. So there's a completely different audience for the exact same topic. And then it goes vice versa. There'll be stuff on YouTube that takes off that doesn't perform for shit on the blog. And so every platform has a specific audience. And that's the hardest part about it, is trying to tap that audience to read your shit. And I haven't quite found my niche yet, or my groove, I should say. Because I do write in a bunch of different niches. I'm all over the map. That's why I have like 5 different blogs. So I've got several different interests. But one thing I like about Vocal and Hubpages, and to a lesser extent Medium, is that, like with Hubpages has a collection of websites that are specific to a niche, so they're more likely to be crawled by Google's algorithm. They're the search bot. Vocal does not. Vocal has subdomains of its site for those specific niches, so that's probably why you don't see a lot of Vocal articles in a Google search result. So I'm not 100% sure how they make the money to give to writers, but they do. I've been paid, so I know it's legit. $4 here, $5 there, 5 cents on Medium, but yeah. So it is possible to make decent money from these systems. Now, I've met people who claim that they've been almost able to pull in a full-time income off of Hubpages, and one person they make quite a bit off of Vocal. And in the grand scheme of things, I'm lucky to make 50 cents per month, but I haven't really put in a lot of effort. I've only got 24 stories on Vocal. I think I've got 2 on Hubpages and 1 on Medium. So that's part of what I'm doing this year, is more work with those platforms. But I have learned quite a bit about how they work, and I've talked to many. Oh, I'm trading cats here. Max. So what is my opinion about writing on network sites like Vocal, Hubpages, or Medium? Well, it's a free method to get your name out there as a creator, which is great if you're an author, or if you want to just to promote yourself. Like a lot of my stuff from Vocal and Hubpages, Hubpages won't let me use my own links for some reason. They'll let me add Amazon, but not my links to my personal website, so I'm not sure why the hell not, but Vocal does, and so I promoted my book that way. And yeah, so it's a good way to get your name out there as a creator and get some interest gardens. Okay, real quick, we have KDC saying on YouTube, Michael, you have Discord, right? A friend of mine on LinkedIn owns a writing Discord server. Do you want to join her server? It has 400 people. I do have a Discord channel. It's for right now. It's for Buy Me a Coffee supporters, but sure, I guess. Wouldn't hurt. I've never had the best of luck promoting myself, so I don't know. I'm sure she wouldn't mind you sharing your live streams and promoting your channel. Yeah, that'd be yeah. Sure. You can send the my email is on the YouTube channel's about page, so you should be able to send it there. But one of the cool things about network writing sites is that you don't have to pay for a domain name or web hosting. Essentially, you're a blogger on their website. So instead of trying a free blog from like, let's see, like WordPress.com or Blogger or any of those other sites, you can use something like Vocal, Hubpages, or Medium and possibly make a little bit of money that way. You still need to create content people want to read in order to be successful, but the strategy is slightly different. So, in my opinion, it's viable, but you have to switch how you think of stuff. So, if you have the time, you might as well crank out a post. You may just write that stellar piece that earns you tips, rewards, and viral notoriety. Like I was talking about earlier about that Minecraft piece. I didn't expect that to go anywhere, let alone net me $15 or $20 that month. And I don't think it's got many views since, but the initial impact was worthwhile. I still have blogs that have been on my, or I have posts that have been on my blog for years that hasn't generated that much money. So time wise, definitely worthwhile, especially since it's free, and you might as well. I mean, if you're just sitting around doing absolutely nothing, it only took me 37 minutes to write the one this morning. It took me an hour to write the one yesterday, so it really doesn't take up a lot of time. The one I wrote about Minecraft, that one took a little over an hour. So, you never know. Not to mention that there's potential to earn a passive income if you have a few really good articles that people seem to love, which is why I've been putting more effort into it this year. One of the things I want to do is buy my warehouse so I can do all this stuff with a really fancy background and shit. And set things up for WriterSanctuary, Crossing Colorado, and Colorado Plays. And so I need 2,000 square feet. In order to do that, I need $125 extra per day. So if I can get any of these systems to bring in, to cut some of that down, that'll make a big difference on what I get to do at the end of the year. So I'm looking forward to seeing just how far I can take some of these things. But I've been paid out on all 3 platforms, and so they are legit. Like I said, I got 5 cents to my bank from Medium. They were starting to like deposit it as soon as I would get make some money, and I stopped it because at that time it was 2 cents. I'm like, don't waste your time for 2 cents. So I set Stripe to deposit monthly, so I got a nickel instead of 2 cents. But Vocal will hold until you decide to claim it. Same with Hubpages. So, cool thing I like about Hubpages though is that you can add Amazon affiliate links, and I think you can do the same thing with Vocal too. I was reading about that today, how a lot of people will add their affiliate links to it. I added the link to my book in one of my posts, so you don't have to rely just on reads. You might actually pique someone's interest to buy something. So that would be a worthwhile goal. The only reason why I haven't done more with these platforms is because I feel I'd earn more money if I spent time writing on my own blogs, which is true most of the time. It's like the Buy Me a Coffee post I was talking about earlier. That, because it's #1 in Google for Buy Me a Coffee review, it has generated a stupid amount of money in AdSense. Like way more than I would make for the same length of article if I was to sell it on TextBroker, and a hell of a lot more than it would have got if I published it on Vocal. So sometimes it's worthwhile, and since I have so many blogs, I just feel that my time would probably be better spent by beefing up that content for those websites. So I'm trying to do a little bit something different with Vocal, but I'm still doing the same niches. So I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'll write a piece and I'll think to myself, God, I'd rather have this on the blog. Of course, I get that way too when I'm doing Buy Me a Coffee articles, like my Tip Tuesdays for members. I'll finish the blog post and think, oh, fuck, this would have made a great article on Writer Sanctuary. So there's that. So you have to kind of judge which is going to be the better thing, I guess. Oh, but however, I do plan on spending more quality time on these platforms. Like I said, I would love to find a decent way to create a decent amount of a good passive income. Problem is that I've got so much to do in a day. I just don't know if that's going to be viable because I've got, like I said, 5 blogs, and then I'm going to be putting more effort into the 3 YouTube channels that I have, the Twitch stream, writing my books. I got 3 books I want to write. What else? This is all on top of what I do for Green Geeks. So my time is finite to the nth degree. So I got to be I kind of got to, I have to judge what's going to be priority. And some things get set back. Then I have personal issues that wind up screwing things up. Email. And, it just, it gets rough sometimes. And so I can't put everything into what I want to do. Like one of the reasons why I've been doing vocal hardcore this month is because I did a video last year about whether or not 30 days of writing on vocal is worthwhile. Well, I got put on the back burner because I had so many other things going on that, and then I started getting, I can't call it hate mail, but I have had people complain that I haven't done a part 2 to it yet. And one person even said that I should, suggested that I should take the video down until I get the part 2 done. Like, yeah, fuck you, it's my channel. I can do whatever the hell I want. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and put in the 30 days and get the video done. So I have it made as a priority, which means it's the first thing I do every morning. That way I know I get them done. But there's times where I'm like, God, I could have wrote an awesome blog post this morning, but no, I'm playing around on vocal. So, yeah, that's how things go. But when all is said and done, there are so many different ways to make money online as a writer, whether you're a freelancer or want to be a novelist. That there are just so many different ways that you'd be. It's foolish not to take advantage of every possible thing you can, because what if the income dries up from one source? Then you're kind of screwed if you dump all your time in that one thing. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get more into doing these, the writing networking sites, because, well, if I can come up with some good articles, it's going to keep generating income, whether my blog does or not. And the same thing with my blog. My blog will keep making money, even if I decide to shut down vocal. So I always try to diversify everything I can, which is how I was so successful writing for Content Mills. I didn't just focus on TextBroker. I wrote for Writer Access. I did work on Fiverr. I tried Hire Writers, which I hated. That was a terrible site. I even had an account on freelancer.com. Didn't get any jobs from that, though, and I hated it because people were underbidding the shit out of themselves on that site. Because most businesses will pick up the cheapest labor. And so if someone is undercutting the hell out of you and you'd make more money handing out flyers at Walmart, then it's pointless. And freelancer.com was like full of people who kept doing that. Like, you're only screwing yourself at that point. Well, you're also screwing us because now businesses think they can get labor for dirt cheap. But you get what you pay for. So I don't know how well they did, but I kept getting underbid, and so I'm like, fuck this. Besides, at that point, I was making more money on TextBroker anyway, so. But that's a different tale. So my point is that you shouldn't just focus on one thing. I've got the blogs, I've got my books, I've got vocal, Hubpages, and Medium going, or will be. I am also going to be looking into doing Kindle Vella this year, which is selling serial writing, serial stories. And there's another serial site that I was interested in trying too. And then I do the audiobook for Creative Sanctuary, Despair. And so there's all kinds of ways that you can start getting some money coming in. A lot of them will take a bit of time because it does take some content before people start reading your shit. like on Vocal. Yeah, I laugh because I think my best month outside of April, that's when I made all that money, was like 44 cents for the whole month. But, when you only have a handful of articles and half of them nobody wants to read, you're not going to make a lot. So I say give them a shot. Put in as much effort as you can. Try to engage the audience. What I have been trying to do lately is go into the different niches of like Vocal and seeing what everybody else is writing and what's the most popular, and then uh, figuring out, not copying that article, but what it's about, how the flow is going, what are people reading on Vocal. It's kind of like what I do for Google, except for without having the analytical tools, because Vocal's analytical stuff is crap. It's very limited, and so you can't get a lot of information off of it like you can with like Uber Suggest or SEMrush or Rank Tracker. There's a lot of SEO tools out there that'll scan shit for you. Vocal doesn't have that, so a lot of it's going to be legwork. But if you can land on those articles that people really like to read, then you have a much better chance of bringing in some cash. So, anywho, I think that's about it. That's all I wanted to go over today. If you want to try them out, it's vocal.media, hubpages.com, and then medium.com. And all three are similar. Medium is way different. I can't say way different, but it's a lot more different than the other two. That was my cat falling down. So, Medium, you can set whether you're offering free pieces or paid pieces. The big thing I like about Medium, though, is that a lot of Medium articles are crawled by Google. So you have a much better chance of being seen through Google search. So, in fact, out of all three, I think I see more Medium articles than anything else. I swear to God. But that's it. So,